We will be back in some form.
We have an army of digital soldiers because this was an insurgency.
Hundreds dead, thousands infected across multiple continents.
You guys know what this represents?
All the people that have gone out there against the mainstream media and said, you're going to call us racist, you're going to call us potential Timothy McVeighs, you are.
All right. I'll be Patriots out there kicking ass and taking names. Welcome to the party, folks, to PatriotPartyNews.com. I am your host, Chaz Carter, better known as Underground Patriot, coming to you live from the Wolf Den, folks. Got an action-packed show today. We got a special guest coming in today as well, Sheriff Mack. I know he's having some technical difficulties. Man, I see Dallas is in the studio. Okay, cool. It looks like we're working through all the tech issues there. Hey, man, things are rocking and rolling, and you need to know this is where the cool cats go to get their daily intel news and bread. That's right, it's to PatriotPartyNews.com, folks. We are more than just a website. We are a full-functioning badassery Patriot broadcasting network, broadcasting around the world 24/7. And folks, as always, we can gladly take any type of resources you might be willing to give. You can donate now. We need your help more than ever. They've gone up on our server costs, and quite honestly, it's just it's overtaken. It's pretty hard and heavy, and we thank the Lord for our patriots out there. That's one of the first amazing ways you can help us. Here's another way you can help us. Join the Ultimate Patriot Insider Network. We call it Patriot Shoot. You can go to join.patriotshoot.com. You get access to our voice chat channels from Talk Time to State Talk now, which is phenomenal at a grassroots level. And we also have our state group rooms as well, not to mention our historics and our current intel rooms. Our members are just kicking ass, getting the truth. You see 100% of the truth within our platform of Patriot Shoot versus 2 to 5% of your audience. If you didn't know, free social media have algorithms. And what those algorithms do, ladies and gentlemen, they block you completely from the truth. What we're able to do that no one else is doing is being able to go out to all of these free social media platforms, grab the post that would normally go to only the 3 to 5%. We bring it back over here, and 100% of the people see it. This is what is amazing about what we're doing. We're being able to combat the censorship in amazing, amazing ways. Again, patriotshoot.com. You can go to join.patriotshoot.com. Some of our other partners there as well. And of course, our live chats we do have on our website, thepatriotpartynews.com. All of our replays are exclusively at 2patriot.com, where we are the news. You can go there, sign up for free. You can set up a channel for free. And we're combating censorship. It's on our own servers. It's on our own data center right here, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, obviously, again, they are sponsoring the show. Cool. Let me go ahead and bring in Dallas, and then so we can go ahead and get our awesome guest. What's up, man?
What's going on, buddy?
How are you, bud?
I'm good. I'm good. Still a little sore from the weekend, but I'm good.
Good, man.
Rocking and rolling.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Yeah, man, we did. It was better than it should have been. So I got weird headbuds. My wife's headbuds connecting to my phone.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, it was good, man. It was good. We were down in the Waco area, my in-laws, and got to have all the cousins together. So, you know, my kids are the oldest. Well, my daughter's the oldest.
Right.
Well, I'm an idiot. Both my children are the oldest of all the cousins, but we have 13, now 9. My daughter turned 9 on Friday. My youngest daughter, and then they've got 7, 5, 5, 3, and then one in the oven, I guess, as they say. But yeah, man, it's good. It was good food, good fellowship. Had a great show, like I talked about yesterday with Ephesians Pro Wrestling, the toy drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good weekend, man. Setting up.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good stuff. Well, man, I know that Sheriff Mack has a very short window of time here, and I definitely want to get him on. But, man, we have the opportunity once again to have an amazing individual that is doing a lot, not only behind the scenes, but also as well as bringing things together, such as, constitutional sheriffs, peace officers, and man, just amazing things. And we'd like to bring on the man, the myth, the legend, Sheriff Mack, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Sheriff Mack. How are you, sir?
I'm the myth and the legend. Wow, that's good. Thank you. Hey, Dallas, Chas, how's it going, man?
Fantastic.
Good stuff. Good to have you. By the way, I always love your site, and I love it. Uphold, defend, protect, and serve. That is absolutely amazing.
That's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's what we promised to do in a sacred oath that each of us required to take before we can assume our position as a peace officer or a sheriff or chief of police anywhere in this country. We must first swear allegiance to our Constitution and the principles upon which America was founded. The question is, how many of us actually keep that oath?
Man, ain't that the truth? Yeah, that's the frustrating part. Chaz and I, we talked quite a bit yesterday about how it just nothing in the world makes sense, right? We have talking heads, politicians saying one thing today and saying something else tomorrow, and really, when it comes down to it, our sheriffs are they are our last line of defense, and it just you've talked to way more than I've talked to, Sheriff Mack, but why is there that it seems like a very strong disconnect from that oath and upholding it, or even recognizing that they took it? There are great sheriffs, and then there are the others, and I just help our audience understand how that disconnect happens and what can we do about it, right?
Well, the people, the last part of your question is the most valid. What can the American people do? And first of all, they must realize that we're in charge. Your sheriff reports to you. You're his only boss. If he doesn't ever hear from you, he's going to just go on doing what he's doing. So first and foremost, we have got to, all of us, the patriots of America, have got to be involved in the solution process. That's what we offer all of you at cspoa.org. Not only do we have a posse that you can join with us, but we help train you work with your sheriff. And this is vital because of what you just said. The sheriff is the last line of defense for you. Yeah. When government becomes venal and oppressive, to whom can you turn for peace, safety, and liberty? And if it's not your sheriff, you're in a world of crap. You have no place to go. Yeah. Except the Second Amendment. And we don't want that. Of course, we love the Second Amendment, but we do not want violence. This can happen. This can still happen. We can get our country back, take back our liberty, if we are vigilant, just like Jefferson warned us. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. We have got to be involved in the solution process, and we are 100% solution-oriented, peaceful, and effective. That's what kind of solution you get at cspoa.org. And join our posse so that we can get you trained every Wednesday. Tomorrow we have it. We have training every Wednesday to make sure for all of our posse members nationwide. And those are citizens. Yeah. So that we can train you to work with your sheriff, the last line of defense. And quite honestly, in a lot of ways, he's the first line of defense. So we've got to be having a relationship with our sheriffs. And folks, if you want a good example of this, how about the tale of two sheriffs? Now, during COVID, we had a lot of sheriffs stand up and say, no, I'm not going to enforce all these ridiculous COVID mandates. First of all, they're not legislated. There's nothing in the criminal code about how you have to wear a mask or I have to arrest you, And first of all, legislation can never tell sheriffs or law enforcement how they must enforce the law. Okay? It's called police discretion. In other words, if somebody runs a stop sign in front of me, do I have to stop them? Do I have to give them a ticket? Do I have to slap them around a little bit? Mm-hmm. No. There's no requirement for any of that, especially police brutality. But I don't even have to stop them. I could turn on my siren and just let them know I saw it, turn on my red and blue lights, let them know I saw it, shake my finger at them, write them a ticket, not write them a ticket, write them a warning, nothing, okay? And every peace officer has had that happen to them because when they're already on another call and they see a traffic violation, they have to go to the original call. They don't get to stop and write tickets or yell at people. They have to get to the call that they've already been dispatched to. Okay, so let me tell you the tale of two sheriffs. This is during COVID. Now, folks, I want you to analyze this as I tell you the story. First, in Florida, in the Tampa area, Hillsborough County, we had Sheriff Chronister arrest a pastor for having church in the United States of America. Yes, Florida. Sheriff Chronister arrested a pastor for having church. And that was Pastor Rodney Howard Brown. He's got a mega church. He's on TV. I've been out to his church. I've talked to him. I absolutely love him. He's really brash. He's really kind of a Donald Trump kind of pastor. He just says what he means what he says. He is funny and he's powerful. Anyway, they've already the charges got dropped and they've already reconciled. But it wasn't because of Sheriff Chronister. It was because this good pastor went to him and told him he forgave him. Now we have another sheriff in New Mexico. Sheriff Glenn Hamilton. And a pastor by the name of Caleb Cooper went to Sheriff Hamilton and said, just so you know, Sheriff, the government doesn't run our church. Jesus Christ runs our church.
Amen.
And therefore, I will not be closing, not one day, never. My question to you, Sheriff, is what are you going to do to protect us, both me and my family and my church and the congregation? And good Sheriff Hamilton said, if it takes me having to go to jail myself, I will do everything in my power to keep you open and to protect your congregation. So a few weeks later, here comes the state police. And Sheriff Hamilton is there, and he goes out and meets them. And he said, just so you all know, I have deputized every single member of the church inside that building. And Sheriff told him, Pastor Caleb Cooper is also a member of our posse. He's in there. He's going to have church. I will be in there. He's going to have church. And we appreciate you stopping by, but we'll see you later. The police left, never came back, and Pastor Caleb Cooper kept his church open every minute of every Sunday that he wanted to. That is freedom. That is liberty. That is America. And that is a constitutional sheriff. Oh, Amen. And by the way, he had been to our training twice. And you asked the question, what do we do about the police who don't keep their oath of office? The problem is police academies don't ever train in the Constitution. They don't ever, they study case law, but they don't study the Bill of Rights and why we have them. They don't study what the Founding Fathers did for America and how they stood at Lexington Green. They don't know about the shot heard around the world. They don't know about the tyranny of King George III and its parliament. They don't know about the cruelty and the abuse and the tyranny. And they don't know about the 16 principles of liberty that every American was born with. And that's the problem. Case law doesn't teach that. They don't teach those foundational principles. And so now, folks, I ask you, which sheriff do you want in your community? The type Sheriff Hamilton was, who stood and put his badge on the line, his life on the line, his freedom on the line? What if they had arrested him for interfering or tried to do so? Folks, it takes a little bit of courage, but Sheriff Hamilton, it was not alone. There were over 550 sheriffs. Regrettably, that's only about 17%. There were over 550 sheriffs who stood against COVID mandates to one degree or another. We had even 25 in California. There was about a dozen in New York. So what about your state? Now, just so you know, there are 3 states that don't even have sheriffs. Huge mistake. Alaska and Hawaii don't have sheriffs. They never established the office when they came into the Union in 1959. And the biggest mistake of all, Connecticut voted the office out of its state about 30 years ago. Horrible, huge mistake. So now all they have there is the police state. No elected law enforcement anywhere, because they forgot that America was by, for, and of the people, and that the first 3 words of the Constitution are we the people. We're in charge, not government. Yeah. Government reports to us, and we are in charge. And so here we are with that great example on both sides, a horrible example, a great example. And folks, the problem is we've got to get these people educated, and that's what we have dedicated our lives to at the CSPOA.
I'll tell you what, Sheriff Mack, what we need to do, we need to get you involved with State Talk, which is all 50 states that we're connected with at a grassroots level. Alice, if you wouldn't mind, let's set up a time to get with Sheriff Mack and let's see if we can schedule something. You're going to love it. It's going to be exactly what you're looking for and what we're looking for. It'd be a match made in heaven.
Okay.
Getting and organizing, constitutional sheriffs. You guys are so important right now with everything that's going on. It kind of makes me think mentally like you're the referee keeping between civil war and sanity. Okay, that's what kind of goes through
That's right.
my mind a little bit, as crazy as that might sound. But let me ask you a question, Sheriff Mack. What are your thoughts on what we're seeing right now? I know that it's so important to have a constitutional sheriff, but at the same time, you personally, what's your thought process on how things are happening from President Trump to Venezuela? I mean, is there anything that is standing out to you right now that you're paying very close attention to?
Well, the Constitution gives quite a bit of leeway to the president.
Mm-hmm.
However, it also requires a check and balance with Congress. I don't believe he can use unilaterally the military to go after anyone unless it's a real emergency situation. Of course, you respond immediately. You don't wait to pass go with Congress. But at the same time, he does need authorization from Congress. If they fail to give it and they do not allow him to keep us safe, then he has the authority to act on his own. But first of all, let's read the Constitution. On Article 4, Section 4, not Amendment 4. I'm talking about Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in the Union a republican form of government. How many states know that we're supposed to be a republic and that they are supposed to be a republic? First of all, most of them believe that they're all democracies. Oh, we got to save democracy. You save democracy. Right. We're not a democracy. We never were intended to be a democracy. The founding fathers assailed democracies, said that was horrible. You never heard any of the founders say, well, we're trying this new experiment in America called democracy. No, that's historically just stupid and ignorant. There was no such thing. And so what's wrong with a democracy? It's a dictatorship as long as you have a majority rule. Mm-hmm. So get one more than 50% and you've got yourself a dictatorship. And right now we have a democratic dictatorship throughout all of our country in most states. But he says this also. This is, again, the supreme law of the land, Article 4, Section 4. And shall protect each of them against invasion. So the federal government has a responsibility to protect our borders from invasion. Mm-hmm. And so obviously President Trump has the authority to enforce getting illegal immigrants out of our country because the last president committed treason. All of his staff, all of his cabinet committed treason and made sure that terrorist groups and cartels invaded our country. And now we're even seeing this worse because Minnesota funneled $1 billion to Somalia terrorists. And we've been funding terrorists with taxpayer dollars, not just in Minnesota, but throughout the country. Minnesota is just the one that got caught so far.
Yeah.
And I don't believe this was an accident. There are politicians who made sure that happened. And many of them were elected as Muslim extremist candidates. And we have them in Congress. And we have them throughout the country in state legislatures. And this is really the enemy from within. Because it used to be that they were from without. But now it's the enemy from within. Last part of this. And upon application of the legislature or the executive, when the legislature cannot be convened, so there's the one exception, against domestic violence. So if these cartels are sending their drugs to America, which we know they are,
right,
President Trump can prevent that from happening. Protect our borders from invasion with drugs, with terrorists, with illegal aliens. He has the responsibility to do that. Is he supposed to check with Congress? Yes, he is. If Congress doesn't give it, does he still have the responsibility to protect our borders?
Yes, he does.
I think now I'm not a lawyer, but I am pretty versed in the Constitution and history. I say that he probably does. If Congress won't do its job, if the states, if the mayors and the governors and the chief of police refuse to do their job, the sheriff should be stepping in and exercising his leadership in those same jurisdictions and getting together with them and say, we've got to stop this. Trump isn't in charge of this. We are. And if we fail, then of course Trump's going to come in. So that is what's happening in our country right now. I'm glad that Trump took the leadership and showed these states and cities what they're supposed to be doing. If they refuse, then of course the federal government can step in. Why? Because in my Supreme Court case, now you guys remember I sued the federal government and won a case at the U.S. Supreme Court.
Right.
Yep.
Now this reinforces what the president is doing. Now get this. This is Scalia writing for the majority, quoting Federalist 51. When both the federal government and the state are doing their jobs, this is what happens. Quote, hence, a double security arises to the rights of the people. Why? Quoting again. Because the different governments will control each other. So it's the sheriff's job, being a different government. If the federal government or state government sends in bureaucrats to confiscate guns or whatever else they're going to do, arrest people who don't agree with them, but arrest people for peaceably assembling in church, it would be the sheriff's job to do what Sheriff Hamilton did. Intervene, hopefully in peaceful ways.
Right.
Now, do you remember the history of John F. Kennedy sending troops to Alabama to make sure that black students got to go against the wishes of the governor, but got to go to college at the University of Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he did. Did anybody get hurt? No. Did anybody fire a gun? No. The presence of the troops was enough. And that's what we've been seeing mostly with President Trump, until we had the Democrats encourage the others to start attacking the federal agents.
Yep. And denying,
that's the biggest problem right there.
Right. Denying or violating direct orders. I mean, that's the other part of it, Sheriff Mack, is when, I accidentally coined a phrase a few years ago, handcuffs and perp walks. like that's all I've ever wanted is accountability and justice. Right. And that's
exactly what we all want.
That's what it seems like. Where I'm just waiting for that moment. And don't get me wrong, there have been thousands of arrests of, drug smugglers and traffickers, and there have been hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of children rescued and things like that. But where, like those 6 politicians, some of which were ex-military and CIA and things like that.
Yeah.
If you, me, or Chaz got on this podcast right now and said those same exact words, I'm pretty positive that somebody in a black SUV would be rolling up, kicking in our front door and throwing us in handcuffs and throwing us in a big dark hole.
Well, maybe now not under President Trump, but that would have happened last under Biden administration and Obama, yes. But even with that, because we have said something similar, we have said that every peace officer, current laws, quote laws, or pretended legislation, if they pass gun control laws, of course we don't enforce those. Of course we don't, because we swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution. Now, I'm not telling them to disobey the law. We're telling them to obey the law, enforce the law, the supreme law of the land.
To follow the
but even with that, those
law.
same Democrats have assailed me for saying that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sheriff Mack, we really appreciate everything that you're doing out there. And gosh, it takes a lot to do what you do, especially when it feels like sometimes the whole world is against you. And I just commend that. We totally want to have another meeting with you off the live with what we're doing that maybe create some massive synergy.
Well, let's do it.
For
Yeah, absolutely.
exactly what
You've got my total support there. Yes.
100%. And we would love to do that with that. But Sheriff, just please be safe out there. And can't wait to have you back on again and give us any type of updates.
Let's do it. Let's follow up together. Thank you so much for that.
God bless you. Thank you, Sheriff.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
I like that guy.
Yeah. We'll get him on State Talk and have him just go off the rails and just say it like it is, because I got a feeling he's being reserved. How about that? And I can only imagine you hear about the backside stories and everything that would relate maybe in your community. I know that Oathkeeper Bill has been working very hard with a lot of constitutional sheriff stuff as well. Man, you never know. We'll see how this pans out, but I just got a feeling, man. Got a feeling, and it worked out. So we'll see how that goes. And speaking of some other stuff, Big Dog, I've been talking about what's happening in our neck of the woods here in Tennessee. So this is the voting area here. It's election days in the 7th Congressional District here in Tennessee. And yes, everybody needs to be voting and supporting Matthew here in Tennessee. Not the crazy liberal woman that goes in like cat scratch fever going after the governor of Tennessee. And one of the, like I was saying before, Dallas, a very close friend of mine I went to high school with, his brother is in there as a state trooper, and he's the one dragging her out. And I'm like, hey, I know him. I'm like, that is real. God, I know this cat and I know the family. And I'm like, wow, this is going to be interesting. But man, people are losing their stinking mind. You better go tell them to go and find it.
Well, and I'm not picking on women, but it seems to be kind of aimed to one side. But it's like the woman in California, the super left-leaning Democrat that is just completely unhinged. Like every interview I've ever heard her talk on, it just at some point she goes full Karen and starts yelling and screaming and ranting and raving, and like that's who you want to be your governmental of representative. Like I can't even fathom. It's just crazy, Chaz.
Now, did Trump go live earlier today too, or is he doing another one here? Because I've seen clips to where it looks like he went live this morning with Pete Hegseth, the Department of War. So I thought that was interesting. So we'll see. I don't know if that takes the place of this.
Angela says he's still live.
Oh, he's still live. Well, hang on, maybe that burn it. Give me a second here. I'll try to. Does anybody? Somebody send me the link. Okay. Give me a second, Dallas. I'm gonna defer to you for a second, man, if you could for me.
Yeah. No. Well, I knew he was making some big announcement. I thought it was going to be tonight. I didn't even know he had gone live this morning, but I'm really conflicted on the whole Venezuela thing because I stumbled across a Stu Peters clip, and he goes into a very controlled but informative history of people that have gone against the central bank and have been demonized, vilified, and then overthrown. And their countries have been basically confiscated through war. And, we know about Gaddafi. We know about, Iraq and Saddam Hussein and, these other leaders. even Germany and Hitler. And again, I'm not a Hitler fan, but you go back and listen to some of those speeches that have been accurately translated. He wasn't railing against Jews. He was railing against the Khazarians that had taken over the banking system and were destroying the economy of Germany. And he was trying to save. He kicked out the central bank, and he was just trying to build back the country. But who controls the media? And it's the Zionist Khazarians, and they tell us who's good and who's bad. And I just really worry about this Venezuela thing. I don't know if I don't think we're being presented with the facts, if you know what I mean. I can't hear you, Chaz. You're
sorry. Can you hear me now? Apologize. Yeah. I was going to cut in here real quick just to see what they're talking about, and then we can, decide to cut back out or whatever. But it's supposed to be something big, so let's tune in here.
Giving us prosperity at home. That bodes so well for our country. One small little gift that we're giving to all Americans from one teeny part of the interior, which is the national parks, is that not only are we keeping prices low for all American citizens, offering 10 free days for our national parks next year to coincide with our holidays, but also a $100 surcharge for non-residents. That is going to raise hundreds of millions of dollars for helping restore and preserve all of our best parks. So as we close out with it, I want to also say a big celebration going on here in Washington, D.C. We've been thrilled to be part of the National Park Service, the U.S. Park Police, part of this great effort across a number of us on making D.C. safe and beautiful. This will be the safest and most beautiful capital in the world. We are doing so many things, whether it's hundreds of homeless camps, thousands of graffiti sites, cleaning up ponds and fountains, preparing this thing. The United States is never going to be performing better economically. It's never going to be looking better, just like the White House has never looked better, all because of your vision leadership. So again, thank you, sir. You've given an incredible Christmas gift to Americans by setting us up for an incredible 250th anniversary.
That's very nice. Thank you, Dad, very much. Marco?
Well, thank you, Mr. President. First of all, this is a very talented team, as you've seen, and as you know, because you picked every single one that's on. You deserve tremendous credit for doing that. It's an honor to be in this role. It's also an honor to be involved in and be a witness to what I believe is the most transformational year in American foreign policy since the end of the Second World War, at least. And it's transformational because for the first time in a long time, we have a president who basically puts America at the forefront of every decision we make in our relations with the world. And that may sound weird to people, like, of course you always do. No, that hasn't always been the case until about a year ago. And I think we've all witnessed in our own respective spaces how in every interaction the president has with the world, the goal he has in mind is very simple. Does what you want us to do, or is it going to make us stronger? Is it going to make us richer? Is it going to make us safer? If it is, he's for it. If it's not, he's against it. If something's going to make America weaker or poorer or less safe, the president's going to be against it. And every single thing he has done in our foreign policy has been driven by the American people in mind.
What about arrest?
And I can go down the list. Why has he focused on mass migration? It's very simple, because no country is safe if you can just walk in without us knowing who you are into your country. We've seen the destruction that's wreaking, not just in our own country, but the impact that it's having in Europe and in many other parts of the world. You talk about trade deals and the trade situation has been involved in. People, all this reporting on it. It's very simple. The president views the last 40 years as an era of which American workers and American farmers have been ripped off. They've been ripped off, and what he's saying is we want to have a trade with the world, but it has to be a trade in which American businesses and American workers and the products they make and what American farmers grow and produce has a fair shot to be sold around the world. On issue after issue, that's been the case. You talk about foreign aid reforms. This is not our money. This is taxpayer money. When the president said we're going to do foreign aid, but we're going to do foreign aid for countries that are aligned with the United States and in a way that doesn't waste the taxpayers' money. Mr. President, you deserve tremendous credit for that. Many of us, the vice president, by the way, I want to acknowledge, has played an extraordinary role in our foreign policy. And he, too, has been a witness to all of this as it's been occurring. And he's been a big part of it as well. You talk about NATO. The president's not against NATO. He went to NATO and basically said, look, you guys, we're paying all the money. And he got them to do the 5% commitment, which everybody said was never going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, it's just same old rhetoric.
Yeah.
He's supposed to make another announcement at 2 p.m. Central, I think. So
that's what they're saying. Hey, I am curious to get your take on this whole Candace Owens deal, where she finally got some of the final pieces to put everything together about this whole Charlie Kirk situation, which is kind of interesting. She goes, I received information last night that put the final pieces together for me. She said, she goes on and talks about, she goes, I can now say with full confidence that I believe Charlie Kirk was betrayed by the leadership of Turning Point USA and some of the very people who eulogized him on stage. Holy crap. Yes, I will be naming names and providing evidence of my claims. That a death warrant, or is that a death warrant from them? Oh, you think you've seen something yet? Oh my goodness. If this is true, Dallas, oh my gosh. She goes on and says, I'm making a personal plea to every well-meaning person to donate a godforsaken organization to request a refund. You were lied to, and the leadership knew.
Yeah, I just hope she is well insulated and well protected. Because
wow, that's yeah.
I mean, I've seen I've seen more and more reports about how corrupt the money was inside of TPSU,
Man,
USA.
What was it, a vacant like parking lot supposedly? It was going to some LLC within Turning Point. I mean, it was obvious some big time shenanigans are taking place. Man, could Charlie have found out about this and started kind of putting the screws, and then he connected the dots back to the Zionist Jews, maybe over there in Israel, because of what was going on with BB, trying to conduct a meeting with him or want him to go to Israel, and he didn't want to be programmed. You and I both heard him say this publicly. You know, this is I don't want to be a part of some type of re-education camp or
no, that's exactly why they killed him, because he started to find out. He had ordered an internal audit, because he had already started to find. He found $3 million or $3 million or $30 million, something like that he couldn't account for. It came directly from an Israeli source. Netanyahu offered him $300 million or $150 million, which is equivalent to their annual budget in person. Right. So Charlie absolutely started. I mean, he was already catching on. I mean, Charlie was a smart guy. They had him running ragged, which is probably why they were able to get away with it for so long. But and I really, it's hard for me to talk bad about his wife, but she just, she's on podcasts, literally days after her husband was literally executed in broad daylight in front of the world. And you're laughing and you're joking and you're talking about how you're going to continue, I don't know. Right. None of it seems to make sense. None of it adds up. And so I choose not to talk about her. It's kind of the whole thing. I don't want to argue whether he's still alive or not. All I know is that the narrative that they're telling us is not true. And that's all I need to know that our government is full of crap. And that is my biggest question. And I know, I mean, we've got a little heat over the Q and the movie thing and all this stuff, but this is my question for all of those that are still, this is just a movie. The good guys are in control and we just got to trust the plan and hold the line. If our government is willing to lie to our face today, blatantly, how on God's green earth are we supposed to then turn around when they start telling us the good stuff, like, oh, we're going to wipe out your debt, except now you're going to owe debt in a different way. I'm telling you, do not buy U.S. stable coins. I'm telling you right now,
oh, Lord,
do not buy U.S. stable coins, because they are tokenizing our $34 trillion of debt, and they're going to sell it back to us, not in the form of treasuries like they used to, but in the form of digitized U.S. stablecoins. I'm just telling you, I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just telling you, they're going to tokenize our debt and try to sell it back to the American people and put the debt burden on us, because those tokens are going to be worth nothing. Because they're fiat, they're worth nothing. Anyway, I just, if they lied to us today, how are we supposed to believe that all of a sudden, oh, now you're telling me the truth when you're telling me things that I want to hear, right? Like that's the biggest thing that spins in my brain is if you're willing to lie to my face and pretty much verify to me that you are lying to me, and I'm just supposed to suck it up. And if I don't like it, then you're going to sue me because I talk bad about you, or I talk bad about your girlfriend, or whatever, right? Or you're going to cancel my accounts, and you're going to freeze my bank accounts, and you're going to treat me like a criminal. Like we just got off the phone with, not a phone, off the show with Sheriff Mack. Like that is a problem to me. If you're willing to lie to my face today, and then, tomorrow I'm supposed to just take everything you say at face value. I'm just really struggling with that concept, because for me, Chaz, trust is earned, not given, and vice versa. Like I expect to have to earn your trust in me, right? Just as you have to earn my trust in you.
Right.
And when you lie to me and then you tell me, oh wait, no, I'm telling the truth this time. Like, I'm really, really struggling with that, man. And that's what causes all of the questions.
But that you're not the only one, though, and more people need to hear that, thinking, man, am I thinking wrong, thinking that way? There's nothing wrong with what you're talking about, because honestly, I think we've all thought this way, and it maybe still are, or whatnot. And that's what kind of pisses everyone out. Just makes people pissed off because of how long that's been reoccurring, like a cycle, like you're kind of being conditioned. Your expectations are, nothing's going to happen like they say it's going to happen, and then it becomes as no surprise as you hear it over. It's like a broken record. Hello, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I just, I'm positive. I'm a positive person. I think good things are happening.
Right.
And I said it yesterday, my dad, shout out to my dad, by the way, who watches our show every day.
Cool.
He was like, man, you closed out hard yesterday. I was like, because it's the truth. God is in control.
Amen.
Now, if I've learned anything about God, he doesn't do anything in my timing or in my wishes. It is his timing and it's his will, right?
Yeah.
But God is in charge. God is in control. I have a compulsion to try to understand what is happening. What am I seeing? What am I feeling? What's going on around me? It's a compulsion in me that forces me to ask questions and to, do you remember the things they used to put in the malls? It was a picture. It was like dots. And if you stared at it just the right angle, you can see a picture within the picture. Like, do you remember those things?
Yeah.
I could never see the picture. It was one of those weird things. Now, as an adult, I can. But as a kid, I don't know if I didn't have enough patience or I didn't have enough. I was either too focused or I wasn't focused enough. I don't know what it was, but I could never see the picture. But now, Chaz, I can't see anything but the picture. Like that's my problem now, is that I can't see the mural that everybody else is looking at. They're like, oh man, that's really pretty. I don't see it. I see what's behind it. And it's a little bit disturbing, and it's a little bit, disjointed, and it's a little bit abstract. And I'm like, wait. What
No, not necessarily. You're dead on right, because Tony Robbins talks about, hey, I want you to focus on looking everywhere in your room that is brown or red, and say it's red. Look at everything in the room that's red. Now, did you see any other colors? It's just like what you're talking about. It's just the cycle over and over, and that's all and it's part of conditioning. That's how crazy our brain works, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, touche. Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you end us out in a prayer? Would you mind?
Sure.
I would really appreciate that.
Lord, I thank you for this day. I thank you for PPN. I thank you for Chaz and Jen and Warren and his family. I thank you for all the mods. I lift them up to you. I lift their families up to you. Lord, I thank you for Sheriff Mack. I thank you for giving him the energy, the drive, and the conviction to stand not only for the oath that he took, but the oaths that so many other sheriffs have taken. And I thank you for giving him the vision to go around and to hold those men and women accountable to that oath and to we the people. Lord, I lift up Trump. I lift up his cabinet. I lift up the party, the group that is in charge of this country. I pray that they are following, they're seeking your will, and they're seeking your direction. They're seeking your voice. You tell us that your sheep know your voice. And we are your flock, Lord. We are the lamb. We are your sheep. And I pray that Trump and his administration, they would hear and they would recognize and they would know your voice, and that they would follow your commands. Lord, I pray for our country. I pray for the world. There's so much just discord and distrust and mistrust. There's so much just false truth out there. I pray that you would remove the scales from our eyes, and we would be able to see the world and see the truth for what it is, and that we would seek the truth and we would find the truth. And by doing that, the truth may set us free and make us free, Lord. I thank you and I praise you in the name above all names, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen. And of course, obviously, handcuffs, perp walks, reverse guillotines. Man, God bless you, Dallas. Thank you for the prayer.
See you, buddy.
See you, brother. Bye. Another one in the box, folks. As always, man, action-packed things are developing as we speak. We'll be paying attention to see what's going on with Trump here very shortly. Guys, it's time. It's time to take that step in your life. If you're tired of having financial woes, you're looking for a way out of the rat race, we have found a way out of the matrix. Text your first and last name to 877-776-6391. Right now, it's not for everybody. Some people are too skeptical to do it, and that's fine. Okay? We're not here to sell you on anything, but it works, and we're helping people, and we want to help you, Patriot. Again, there's another one. First and last name, 877-776-6391, and we look forward to helping you. God bless the Republic of the United States of America, and God bless you, Patriots. Without you folks, there is no America or world for that matter. God bless you, and we will see you later on tonight. See ya. Hi there, I'm Chaz Carter. Welcome to Patriot Shoot. If you're looking for a censorship-free platform where you can freely express your thoughts and connect with like-minded individuals, then you're in the right place. At Patriot Shoot, we offer more than just a membership. For just $8.99 per month, we provide you with daily intel, weekly giveaways, and access to our exclusive voice chat platform called Patriot Talk, where we have somewhere between 200 to 400 active members just on that alone, discussing a wide range of topics every single day. You'll gain access to our state groups where you can connect with members in your states at a grassroots level. Our community is all about open dialogue and sharing valuable information without the fear of being silenced. Whether it's discussing current events, giving advice, or personal matters, or simply connecting with others on Patriot Shoot, it is the place to be. So what are you waiting for? Join us today. Experience the freedom of speech and just fill out the form below and get started. We cannot wait to have you here with us, and welcome aboard.